Hello, happy Thursday. I am Lori Soleil, and I am here to teach you about the urban ceremonies around Imbolc. Imbolc magic, actually. Let me go and share my slide with you. Brigid's Blaze. So, my friend, the time is changing. You probably noticed that we're getting more light now because we have moved from the darkest day of the year, which was the winter solstice. This is in the northern hemisphere. It's opposite for the southern. But today I wanted to share with you a very quick way that you can connect back to nature, because are you kind of feeling like you're really loving and curious about paganism? Or do you want to be a pagan? They call them neopagans. This is really all this means is that you want to connect back to nature. You really understand your divine connection to nature, and that paganism really is about holding nature sacred on all its levels, connecting back to Gaia. We feel this movement now, especially with this spiritual awakening that's happening. So I wanted to share this with you because I am super excited to connect with nature, and I've been doing it for a long time. And here in Mount Shasta, I offer retreats and different ways that people can come back and actually connect back to the nature spirits and the beauty of nature and the messaging from nature. There's so much wisdom in nature. So let me go here because I want to basically take you to the slideshow. So this is a very quick high-level overview of this beautiful celebration. And then I want you to know that in the Facebook group on Thursday, so for members, on Thursday, January 25th, no, that's today. Let me go back here. All right, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. That's at the end. I'll talk about that. So today, we are in the Facebook group. You are in the group. You're getting a little high-level training on Imbolc, and that's how you say it, Imbolc. It's a Celtic festival. I'm going to go into that, and I'm going to share with you a couple things that you can do because it's coming up. It is February 1st. Let me go there. But let me share Imbolc. What is Imbolc? This is what we're going to cover today. I'm going to cover one of the goddesses, and I'm going to cover a couple of crystals that can be sort of related and used as support to celebrate, to create ceremony around this amazing festival. And then next week, I'm going to go into the members training on traditions and rituals, connection to agriculture and nature, why that's so important, why this particular festival was created, and then modern ceremonies. So if you're a member of the Connected Soul Network, which is what I'm doing this training for, or if you're seeing this on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook page, just know that this is a special little training that I've done for a group that I belong to, that I'm an expert in as it relates to these kinds of topics. But I'll keep sharing, and you can ask me and reach out to me and leave if you have any questions about it, you can leave it on my Facebook page or even on my YouTube channel. So that's just a quick overview of what we're covering. Again, my name is Lori Soleil. I empower women without leaving our men behind. That's kind of my tagline. However, I really work with a lot of spiritually minded people. And so this is the part of my business where I drop into spiritual growth, how you can continue to connect to your own intuitive guidance and wisdom, how you can connect to nature. I have a bunch of different certifications with leading edge types of modalities like NLP, like Psyche, like hypnotherapy, quantum consciousness. That's all a part of my coaching practice. And then my wellness advice has been featured in several magazines, which makes me super happy. That's a little bit about me. So what are we covering today? We're covering Imbolc. Imbolc happens on February 1st. And for the Celtic holiday, that means they're celebrating February 1st to the end of February 2nd. This is one of the 8 sabbats that are celebrated by Wiccans and other neo-pagans and people that really are connecting back to nature. This is also known as the Candlemas or Brigid's Day. That's what this is. But I wanted to show you the wheel of the year so that you understand where this falls. So Imbolc is the midway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. So the equinox is in March, right around the 20th of March, typically. That's the astrological first day of spring. Now, meteorologically, for people who are talking about it from a calendar perspective, that tends to be March 1st, but actually astronomically, it's around the 20th of March. And equal means equal night and day, where solstice is for the winter solstice here in the northern hemisphere. It was the darkest day of the year for us, meaning the least amount of light. That means that the northern hemisphere was tipped the furthest away from the sun, and that's what causes that particular holiday or that particular celebration. So we are right in between. And for people back in ancient times, they really tracked the sun. They paid attention to the sun because it related to their way of life. It related to their survival. So the 8 sabbats, as you can see here on the wheel, are defined. These are kind of cross-quarter celebrations in between the major celebrations of the solstice, both winter and summer, and then the spring and fall equinox. So these sabbats fall in between, and that's what Imbolc is. So at its core, Imbolc is a celebration of light and fertility. And again, this is a Celtic festival for the most part. However, there are other goddesses and gods that are related to this and other celebrations that I'm going to share in the member training next week. But its name is derived from the Old Irish Imbolc, meaning in the belly, symbolizing the pregnancy of the earth with the seeds of new life. So again, it's a midpoint between the winter and the winter solstice and the spring equinox. And Imbolc aligns with the increasing daylight, signifying the growth and strength of the sun. So again, ancient cultures really paid attention to the sun. So the goddess Brigid is the goddess that is celebrated for the Irish Spring Festival. She is considered the maiden. Spring, so we go into cycles of maiden, mother, and crone, and that relates to our seasonal cycles. So the maiden is the spring. It's the birth of something new. She is the goddess of fire and healing and fertility. So she is one of the central figures associated with this particular festival. And she embodies nurturing and transformation. Again, it's about spring. It's about the rebirth. You're starting to see things springing up through the snow right now. And where I live, it's snowing. And you can kind of start to see the buddings of things. You can start to see the buddings on the trees. That is this special festival, this special time of year. So when we invoke Brigid, when the Celts in their festival invoke Brigid, they are invoking her blessings for fertility, creativity, and inspiration. She's the goddess of learning, healing, and the smith arts, the craftsman, and fertility. So these are some of the themes related to her. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is I love being able to bring in different kinds of, with each season, I like to change my altar. That's what I was thinking of. Altar, that's it. And with that, I like to bring in crystals and gems and stones. And I like to collect things from the outside, being very connected to nature. I like bringing in the pine and some cedar and different things that are either blooming right now or had bloomed in the winter. And I create an altar. And typically I create it at the major celebrations like the solstice and the equinox. However, these cross-quarter festivals and celebrations are really beautiful to track the time, because part of what I love sharing is when you connect with nature, you're in rhythm with nature. You start to begin to feel the energetics of it. Now, for me, I don't tap into the new year so much. I understand that it's a big push here in the Western culture, especially to create New Year's resolutions. But I don't energetically feel aligned with that. I feel more aligned with spring. In fact, right now, I'm starting to feel the surge of energy as things are beginning to get brighter. The days are getting longer, and I'm feeling the energy of the season. Now, you can do what feels good to you. Obviously, everything I share, take what feels good and leave the rest, because you, my friend, know what's correct for you. You know what intuitively feels good. And part of what I want to share is that this is a way to tap into those subtle intuitive hits, the energy of nature, and watching the animals and the plant, the flora and the fauna, and how it's responding to those seasons is very deeply connected to us as well. We're animals, right? We're animals, some more than others. So when you connect to the seasons, you can find more flow. You're feeling like you're not working against the energy. Now, for some, the New Year's resolutions really work. For a lot of people, they really don't, because again, it's the dark time of the year. We're still in the dark time. We're still in the dark half of the year. Spring, the first day of spring, which is around March 20th, is then beginning. There's more light during the day than there is darkness of night. Okay, so we're still in the dark half. It's more introspective. It's more contemplative. It might be working through some of the challenges or the limiting beliefs that we continue to carry with us in life. So that's the energy of this time of year. However, again, the light is increasing, and that's when we start to feel that energy. So this is more of the yin half of the year, where again, we're going more internal. And then in the spring, with the spring equinox, then we become yang. We become that yang energy, because there's more sunlight than there is darkness of night. So I hope that makes sense. Again, leave any comments you have for me. I want to come to copper. I love copper as a stone. So here's my little copper stone that I have that I use for some of my altars or some of my crystal grids. And copper, I love, it's a metal. It's the giver of positivity and goodness, as well as the bringer of good luck and in various endeavors. Many people associate it with positive energy when acquiring property and other material possessions. It attracts money, prosperity, and all around good abundance. Now, let me share a caveat here with you. You are the most powerful thing ever. What I love about crystals and stones is that they are a consciousness. And if you feel aligned to it and tap into it, that's beautiful. You can use it to build this feeling state that you have. One of my favorite teachers, Greg Braden, you might know him, he shared a story where he went up to Tibet to sit with the lamas. And he was sitting in ceremony for many, many, many hours as they were chanting and lighting candles and doing their processions and creating mandalas. And he leans over to the lama and he says, "Why do you do all this? You know, what's the significance of all this?" And the lama leans back over and says, "To get into the feeling state." So in my opinion, that's what I love about all these different kinds of accoutrements, is it just helps you get into the feeling state. You can also tap into the consciousness of it. Absolutely. That's part of the intuition and feeling into that. Part of what altars do and connecting to different levels of consciousness, whether it be nature, whether it be crystals, is that we begin to feel one with it. We begin to recognize our part in the whole thing. And again, it helps us feel that strength within us that is our divine right. We are a cosmic child of God. We are the creators of our reality, the co-creators of our reality, however you want to say it. And again, take what feels good and leave the rest. But I just want you to know that you are the most powerful creative force in your life. All of these things are to help you tap into that energetics of who you are, feeling connected with the all as one. Everything is in the here and now. I've talked about this in other training. So tapping into the here and now with the various kinds of things that get you into that feeling state, that magical, joyful, content, happy, in awe state, that state raises your frequency, helps you tap into a different timeline that you already exist on. Everything is in the here and now. Everything exists right now. Our eyes are showing us a certain reality. However, we exist on many dimensions. Science is proving this. This is quantum. And as soon as we raise our frequency or our vibration, we can feel it as if the room changed, as if the energy changed, as if the people around us change. That's a little sidebar. I like talking about that. So here's why I love copper. Okay. The other thing that I love too is sunstone. So find something that sort of represents the return of light. This is a really pretty little necklace that I have, and I have a little Archangel Michael little medallion on here. Find what brings you joy and makes you happy and gets back into that childlike spirit. That's the key. That's the creative force. So I wanted to share that with you, my friend. Again, it's just a high level training here explaining why this festival is so important. And I'd love for you to tap into it. Again, it happens on February 1st. And then next week on February 8th, I'm going to go into member training where I'm going to go much deeper into this, bringing more of the gods and goddesses into this, more festivals, and how you can begin to celebrate. Now, this one is February 8th. Yes. Oh, I just realized that's going to be after the fact. All right. I might have to do something beforehand. But there you go. I'd love to get your comments and feedback, and I really appreciate you being here with me today. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment. And if you want to reach out to me, I'm at lauriesoleil.com. And happy Imbolc, my friend.